أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه إليه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد, all praises due to Allah. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon His beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We continue, inshallah, with this series about the model of the women around the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in different roles, as the mother, as the wife, as the daughter, as the sister. Each one of them played a role, and they were, with what we say now, empowered by the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. They did not need the validation of a man or a woman or look up to someone. They didn't need that. They did not need that. And this is a society that was described as jahili and ignorant. People who were not civilized. But the main thing that they had is that they had values. Sometimes they are wrong values, but they had values. And they held to those values dearly. And they would give their lives for those values. There are men and women, they will give their lives for those values. As I said, there might be a wrong value, like attacking another tribe or enslaving someone, and wrong values. But they lived by those values. They respected those values. The strong would eat the weak. That's a value, but it was wrong. So when Islam came, it changed their values, those wrong ones, but the secret was the way they respected values, the way they held to the values, this dearly holding to their values stayed. So give me a value that Allah will be pleased with, and I will hold to it, and I will give my life for it. That was the difference. That's what I'm teaching you now, and that's what we as men and women and everybody have to have in a culture now that not only values change, but our perception of value. I hope you understand the difference. There is a value, 1, 2, 3, and how you perceive values. Like if I give you a value now and I said, this is your value, you said, okay, here you go. And then tomorrow I say, forget about that value, here is another value. So, okay, here you go. Means you are a person without a value. So value for you, it is not a value. It is something that is serving a purpose, and you are having it now because it is serving that purpose. So you are following values. You are a value-based society, but inside of your heart, you are not. So everybody said, oh, what are the American values? What are the American values? If you ask somebody, what are the American values? Freedom and equality and all right. But we will keep changing what you think and believe about freedom and equality and. So we have freedom and equality, but what does equality mean? Now that we can play with and change every day. What identity mean? We can play and change that every day. What gender means, we're going to play and change every day. So what is the point of that value if it keeps changing by people who are following it? You see? And that's the issue. We all get just emotional, and sometimes we get personal, and we are forgetting that we are shooting ourselves on the foot, that we are the ones who are hurting ourselves. I'm free to do whatever I want, so I'm going to cut my foot. And then the next day you want to travel, but you cut your foot because you're afraid. I told you not to do it. I said, you cannot control me. I can do whatever I want to my body or whatever. Okay, you did. And then later on, you struggle. You struggle. So people fight on this abortion and all of that. It's fine. We can talk about it from religious, from Islamic, from freedom, from all of that. But nobody, and no one discussed. Everybody's busy with like, oh, this is my body, is your body, or this, or yeah, yeah, how about the men with the child support? And the discussion is going, somewhere here. While 100 years from now, what we're doing now here, we never talked we never focused on the statistics, like the birth rates, the morality rates, the mortality rates, the balance in the society, the marriage institution, the parenthood, child-parent relationships, education, how the society is going to look like 50 years from now if this happens, and if this does not happen, how the statistics will change, and then provide people with that and let them make the decision. Nobody does that. like we are busy with the debate of who's who and my identity and who controls who, and the shaitan is enjoying this. And the shayateen, his shayateen, al-ins wal jinn, they're enjoying this because we are all distracted now from being an effective, impactful, beneficial, fruitful member of society, and we are fighting on other things, but we are not seeing how our children in the next generation will be affected by this. If we have gender fight now, like how the map of youth who are now teenagers and they are struggling with that will look like 40 years from now when they are like in their 60s, when they retire. Now, people are seeing what happened to the baby boomers, what happened to the millennials. They're seeing it now. And it is mind-boggling, and it is amazing. Just go to Pew Research Center and read and be surprised and be ready to be frustrated and disappointed. Like, see how many people are depressed, how many people are living alone, those who are having fun and they're taking life by the horns, as they said. And look at the statistics talking about them. Like how many people in their 80s right now, like 80 plus years old, living by themselves, especially women. That's what it is. Like, that's what we need to talk about. This is what we need to talk about. Okay, here is what people want to do. 1, 2, 3. Let the academia work now and research centers work now. Okay, if this happens now, with the tools that we have, with the patterns of history we have, with the education system we have, with the economy the way we see it, with the number of population, put all of this and study it and say, okay, if you do this now, and the marriage institution is destroyed, and the same sex can live together and can get married, and that is how many people are homosexuals and how many people are in the LGBT community. And I'm saying it from a pure statistic point of view now. And all of these people are there. And the people who want abortion, the people who do not want abortion, with their percentage right now, what are the different scenarios? So, and predict for me in the next 10 years, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years, how the society is going to look like. And show the people. Because in my opinion here as Sheikh Mamdouh and all of that, sometimes I make an educated decision against my will for the benefit. I want to renovate my house. I'm free to do whatever I want. But when people tell me, what do you want? Exactly, I said, I'm free to do whatever I want. Here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said, okay, well, this color cannot go with the HOA. You have to do that color. So I'm not free anymore. And if you do that color, you're going to get a ticket, and it's going to change after you paid for the color that you want. Then you're going to pay again, so it will cost you double, Mr. Mahmoud. So what do you want to do? So I can say, oh, I'm crazy, I'm free, I can do whatever I want. I will still then have that color to see my house looks like. Okay, pay for it. And then you will end up following the law, and you are end up going to do it, but you're going to look bad in front of your neighbors. You're going to go have a ticket from the HOA, police can interfere, and you have a problem. Now, you choose what you want. Here's the budget, factoring the inflation and all of that. If you do it now, this is how it's going to cost you. If you do it in August, that's how it's going to cost you. If you do it in December, that's how it's going to cost you. It might change, but this is the prediction here. No, I would like to do it now, against my will. You see? So I'm taking a decision against my will, against my freedom, against what I actually want. But I want a good result, so I'll end up accommodating according to the things, not necessarily my freedom or my will. That's what I'm trying to say here. We are fighting in the wrong, or are moving in the wrong direction. We do not know what we are actually doing. Yeah, and I'm very frustrated talking to the sisters and to the brothers. You guys are like actually dealing with life in a way that it is that is in, how should I say this, that is actually preventing you more than you think from what you want to do. Okay, so instead of actually saying who's who, just try to improve the situation that you have the way it is. The way it is. And things will change by themselves. Trust me. Like, we raise a generation who's free in thinking, but they have a core value system that will never change whatever values change around. It's not everything we can achieve ourselves. And sometimes you say, okay, if this generation is going to do that, then if I raise them like this, so the next generation is empowered, so 3-4 generations from now will achieve what we wanted to achieve right now. And that's what wrong value system working on. They are not trying to be accepted in this generation. They've been, those who, the value system that is accepted in this generation, it was planned like 50 years ago. It started 50 years ago. Go and search, my sisters, in Google, like, you know, the steps for brainwashing. Just go do it. The steps, brainwashing steps. And you'll see how they work. How they work. Like in the beginning, the idea is like introduced, advertisement, soft advertisement for something, then jamming you, and then after that, you know, the guilt tripping and classification. So if I want to introduce an idea that you normally reject, I'm going to normalize it first. So you'll have movies talking about those who you will not accept in a way that, oh, they're nice, they're okay. Yeah, I did not think like that. Same thing happens with products. Oh, I'm not going to buy this kind of stuff. Then you find advertisement telling you that this is not the villain, this is the good stuff that you need. Try it for free. Try it for a month and your money back. You know, so it's normalizing the things. So everybody likes something free. So yeah, let me try it. And then you will find that things that if you do not try it, if you do not use it, this is what's going to happen. You know, then trying to identify how bad those who deal with this idea, making them the villains. Now, you do not want to be a villain. So you end up accepting it and being afraid not to take it. Then after that, the judgment day comes. Like, how dare you say something about this group or that product or something like that? You will be, you know, shunned and you will be persecuted. So that's brainwashing. Then, you know, once you adopt that, then you find a generation born into it and they're afraid. This is the norm for children. This is the norm. They see the norm around them. So if you come and say, well, I was wrong in my decision accepting this, Your kids will tell you, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Decision what? This is our life, you know? This is part of our life. This is my friend. This is my this is my that. What are you talking about? You say, you know, like, you know, 40 years ago, this was wrong, and I agreed, and I was deceived. I was just, what are you talking about? This is like our life here. I hope you get how dangerous this brainwashing thing is. It's amazing. So when we read this model of women in the history, that is the part that made them different. It is not the value system that they had. It is how they were people who know what value is. So once I adopt it, it's my life behind it. And they only needed a higher authority to provide them with the value system. That was the only solution, huh? The only solution to have a stable, fixed, non-changeable, working, fruitful value system that I'm sure it works. I'm sure it is positive. I'm sure it is good for all times because it's coming from God. And I believe in God, and that belief is not going to change or shatter or swerve anywhere. And that's why any value system that comes from that is the best for me, because no one would have the ability to change it. And no one will convince me otherwise, because it's attached to my aqidah. It's attached to my belief. You see the magic here, what happens here? So value system is attached to your aqidah, and it's coming from Allah and His Messenger. Even the scholars who interpret the religion, they are like there, and there's behind that, and there's an area of changing the interpretation of things, but the value system will not change. This is not too much interpretation about that. Okay, so the value system, like, you know, the definition of marriage in Islam will not change until Yawm al-Qiyamah. It's a man, and we know Islam tells us who's a man, and a woman, and Islam tells us who's a woman, physically, emotionally, literally, scientifically, whatever you can call. It's all this, you know, Adam or Hawa, ya Adam, uskun anta, you, a man, wa zawjuka, a woman. That's it. Now, anybody come and say that man is whoever, whatever, physical, emotional, gender, da 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 da. Okay, that's fine. We know that people can change. We know there are diseases. We know people can have abnormalities and everything, but that is the norm for me, and anything else is not the norm. And here is the norm for me, and anything else is not the norm. And if those two would want to reproduce, there is an emotional and sexual and physical and all that union. It's called marriage. And that's the only way, and this is how it is going to happen. Any other thing is an anomaly, any other thing is a deviation from that. You have a freedom to follow whatever you want, like you have a freedom to believe there is a God or not. That's up to you. But this is the norm. Do not tell me that this is the new norm and you are the norm that continued from Adam until the 21st century was wrong, and now we're going to define it again. No, you are wrong, and I'll accept you're wrong as part of the society. That's fine, because this is the society we live in, but you cannot touch my norm, which is the norm of all humanity. That's what the fight is. That's where the fight is. It is not about acceptance, about this, about that. It's about changing what you believe as the norm. That's the attack, you know, like defining the norm, defining the freedom, defining manhood, defining your principles, defining your perception of value. A value system cannot change. You know, so if it comes from God, it cannot change. You can change applications of things, but it cannot change. There is a man, there is a woman, there's a husband, there's a wife. There's definitions for those. And now, how you function as a husband, how you function as a wife, yeah, we can talk about that. No problem. No issues. You know, now we have who's going to do the chores, who's going to work, who's going to stay, who's going to take care of the kids. It's okay. We can talk about that. And this is not the issue. It's not the point of contention, but a man is a man and a woman is a woman. A man is the head of the household regardless, even if he's staying home, even if he's handicapped, even if he's not working, if he's in whatever. And as long as he's not a vegetable, you know, he's still the head of the household. Yeah, so earning will not make the woman the head of the household. So the only way to be the head of the household is to be divorced. And that's the way Allah Azza wa Jalla made. So qawama, or this leadership of the man is a concept, and it is a set value there for a reason. That Allah Azza wa Jalla make him like that. It does not take away from the woman. It does not make the man superior. It does not make the man the master and she's the slave, or she's down and he's up. No, that is Allah assigned him for the way He made him, right? So even if the woman is making all the decision, it does not make her the qawwamah ala rajul. Yani now you are the caretaker of the man. No, yeah, caretaker in the financial and all that, fine, because he's sick and all that, that's okay. But if you divorce and get another man who's healthy, he is going to be the qawwam. So he's filling a spot here. And that spot only a man fills. It does not mean anything other than this is the spot only filled by the man. It does not mean anything more than that. So the functionality, now we can talk about it. Is he functional or not functional? Okay, he's not functional as a man. Well, are you staying with him? I love him, okay. You love somebody who's defective in the leadership area. But you cannot say that I want to keep him, but I want to replace him in the leadership area. You cannot do that. Well, he has to fill the leadership area. He's able or not, that's a problem. Well, marry someone who's able, but I will love this guy. Well, you have to sacrifice you not filling his place. The only way that the woman does not want a man to be her leader is to leave him. And you marry another man who will accept you to be a leader, that's an anomaly. He's not going to make any change. So, because, after a while, if all men accept like that, then we have the women as the qawwam and the man is not, then the ayah is lying. The ayah is saying, الرجال قوامون على النساء. The men are the ones in the point of leadership. So imagine if we have a town that agreed, all of them, that the woman will have that position because she's the one who's working, she's the one who's making decisions and everything, and the men at that time are subjugated to women, for example, or they are like, we go on an island, and now all the women are the ones that the role is reversed. And that's what the women actually fighting for, because they are not knowing what's going to happen. So, okay, let's say that this was achieved. And they are Muslims who say, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Now, how are they going to recite that ayah in the Quran? What that ayah would mean for them. الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وأنفقوا من أموالهم. The men are the leaders over the women with what Allah Azza wa Jalla blessed them with, and with what they spend from their money. So Allah gives two reasons. What Allah blessed them with means this is an innate, inherent, integrated role that Allah gives to the man over the woman. And then with what they spend with their money. Everybody thinks that spending the money, that's what makes the man the authority. No, Allah made him the authority without spending the money. And that authority is as long as he obeys Allah and obeys his Rasul and fearful and is not abusing his wife and not hitting her and not. If all of these things are met, you have no option except the man becomes the leader. If he violates all of that, then actually he jeopardized his leadership, but it does not make you replacing him. He's not replaceable except by another man. I hope we get the idea here. So Allah Azza wa Jalla said, this man is qawwam, but he is drunk. He's abusive, he's that, then he's not qawwam. So does that make you become qawwam on him? No. Replace him by another man. But a woman cannot take that role. And we have a marriage institution, because this is my thesis, right? If a woman comes and say the condition, I am the one who's going to be able to divorce myself, that's fine, by the way, that's okay. But you are going to suffer that, because the first turbulence, you divorce yourself, the divorce is going to become valid. And now you cannot say, well, I'm bringing you back to now we are switching the roles now. I'm bringing you back to the marriage. I want you back. Then he comes back. Then you divorce him again. Then I want you back. And you divorce yourself again. It's not you are divorcing the man. You are saying you are divorced. No, you're divorcing yourself. So you are becoming the proxy of the man. So instead of him pronouncing it, you are pronouncing it to yourself. So it's not like reversing the rule that instead of the man is the one who have the ability to divorce the woman, now the woman has the ability to divorce the man. No. Now the woman has the ability to full divorce herself. So the man is assigning her for his right to divorce her. So she said that. So after 3 times, you're done. You're going to go marry another man, and you're going to do that. After that, you're done. You'll find the average marriages for women in her life spent 10 times. This was going to happen. You know, women here, like because they have the freedom, you find them marrying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that because of this issue. Because there's the equality of filing for divorce. See, the equality of action is one thing, and the equality of outcome is another thing. So equality of opportunity, the equality of opportunity. I get that job, and you have the same ability to get that job. And that's what the women fighting for, right? They're fighting for, and the fight is about what? Let me have the same right that a man has in applying for the job that I want. Well, okay, you have that. Fine. You have the ability to take any job that a man takes. Then you find the statistics are going the opposite direction of what we intended. Like you find that women taking only the jobs that it is easy. They want to be the president, the prime minister. They want to be like the, you know, the good looking kind of jobs. But how about the bricklayers? How about the trash, you know, truck drivers? How about the dirty jobs? Dirty, grueling, hard, you know, it is dirt, it's bad, it's out there, and it's in the heat and the cold and all of that, and women will not like that. And you find them that they want to be doctors and nurses and clean, nice jobs. And the man will go to the physical jobs and everything. Well, they had the equality of opportunity, but not necessarily the equality of outcome. But what the women fighting in the United States and in the West and everywhere now, this is the wrong fight. And this is the man made them do that, but they are not realizing it. They're not realizing it. And it is leading to the opposite of they want. A generation will be exhausted. A generation will be messed up. Women will abandon their children, will abandon the society. And then they will die. This generation will die. And another generation will come empty, empty, empty. They just want fashion. They want fame. They want the makeup, they want anything, and they do not have a cause, do not have a purpose, and the men will enslave them. This is what's going to happen. I promise you. You will see this is happening. You know, let the women fight for this kind of equality, and later on they forget their role, they abandoned it. We worked them hard, we made lots of money from them, and then, you know, a generation will come would not have that kind of thing. They will feel that they are equal, they will feel that whatever. And then she's not a wife material, she's not a mother material. Then, you know, abortion rate will increase. Then, you know, non-marital relationship increases because they have a gender and identity conflict, and they have a problem. And then they will end up just having a job to go by, to put bread and butter, to eat, to fill their stomach. And they forgot who they are. They will forget who they are. They do not know who they are. And then this is the way to control the population of the world at that time. You know, people who do not know who they are, they have identity crisis, they have a problem, and they have, you know, equality crisis, they have gender crisis, then they do not know what they are. Who is going to control? A man who have one definition of a man and a woman who have one definition of a woman, and they are together, they are the ones who is going to control the next generation. And we are fighting here to say, yeah, it's okay, recognizing the support and all that, blah, blah, blah. But the fight now is to stand up for your value system, stand up for your value system. So, you know, you'll find in Scandinavia, for example, where it's all equality for the past 50 years, all the women have the same equal opportunity for any job, from president to whatever, you know, service industry, the lowest job is. A man can apply for their job, a woman can apply for that job. All right? A man can get 500 for it, a woman will get 500 for it. That's what happened 50 years ago. The dream that we're dreaming with, it happened in Scandinavia. Go read the literature and the statistics. Surprisingly, which is finding now, the scientists in the past like 10, 15 years, they were thinking it's going to go to that direction. Actually, it went to that direction. That they ended up with like all the service industry jobs were filled by women. Education, 80% women. Nursing, 99% women. computer administration, secretarial jobs, all women. But then all the physical labor jobs were filled by men. So opportunity to take, when you opened it up, women chose what fits them and men chose what fits them. Wasn't that what we are fighting about? But we are saying this job fit for men, but not for women. No, we're not going to accept that. I can do it, and I can even do it better. Well, here you go. You know what? I think this fits me better. Isn't that a typical sister? I'm not talking in condescending way. Allah is my witness. Allah is my witness. That is exactly what it is. You close the door, no, I want that door. You open the door, okay, just leave it open. I don't want to enter anyways. I just want to go there, but don't close the door for me. This is the whole fight. This is the whole idea, between men and women. A man tells the woman, trust me, I'm the leader, follow me. No, you have to explain to me what you're doing. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Okay. Why you did not want to do it? I just wanted to know. I just want to leave my options open, but I will never do what you're doing. I want to do it here. It's like leave your phone open. But you never looked at it in the past 10 years. Yeah, but I want it open. You have freedom, but I have to have the right to get into it at any time I want. And I want you to live with that concept that me, your wife, can look at your phone at any times. So it's an idea of authority. It's an idea of that, You wanted to have authority, even though you do not like to practice it. You do not like the responsibilities that come with it. Well, I will leave my phone open for you, but please check it every day. I don't want to be your secretary now, because if I leave my phone open and I forgot to reply to my messages, what are you going to do? Love, you forgot to reply to your messages. Oh, you checked my phone today, honey? Yes. Okay, I'm going to reply. So you're not going to be my secretary now, reminding me whenever I forget, because you have access to my phone. Yeah. So my tasks that I did not pay attention to, you'll see that they're going to end up telling me, or you're just looking for wrong. Or you're just looking for wrong, looking for my mistakes. We have a problem now, right? It's like exactly the man telling his wife, what did he spend? Like yesterday, $50 I see in your in the bank account. I was just buying like some personal stuff. What personal stuff? Come on, babe, personal stuff. So what personal stuff? Why you have to butt in and everything? Why you have to know everything? You see? This is what I see in my counseling sessions, like he wants to know I'm buying my personal things. Well, he wants his personal things too. No, I have to know, because maybe there's another woman. It's another, why are you looking so good? Why are you putting perfume when you're leaving? Why are you looking so good and putting makeup when you're leaving? No, you cannot ask that question, but I can ask you that question. Where is the equality? Subhanallah, ajib wallahi, amr ajib. It was very hard. So what did you do? Oh, I'm buying some, underwear and stuff like that. The woman is like, kind of like, no, this is like my personal stuff. But she wants to pick his underwear and all the other things. She wants to have control over this. And this is because of insecurity, by the way. It's not, that's why you cannot be the leader over the man. Allah created you because of this beautiful big ocean of emotions and jealousy and love and unconditional love you need for that man. He cannot survive without it. He needs that. Otherwise, he will burn himself. He will fight and kill another man if your woman is not there to give him that emotional support that he needs and to raise the children and all of that. And that's the whole idea. This is what Allah Azza wa Jalla intended. That's the whole idea. This blend of that uncontrollable emotions, of loving, your husband and loving your children and all of that. That is what is needed to be only under a leadership. But you have to feel it like this to the maximum. But a man cannot be like that. We can talk on and on and on. But I'm telling you, this society that we considered it as a jahili, primitive, they don't know anything, they actually figured it out faster and better. Okay. So when we look at Zainab, radiallahu anha, the daughter of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we see the embodiment of all I said in the past hour now. Even though they are in that primitive society as we consider it, but she understood who she is. She had that ability, she had that personality, she loved her husband so much, and she had like the loyalty to Islam. Her father is the head of the state, the prophet of Allah. Her husband is a mushrik, a disbeliever who fights her father, who is the prophet of Allah. Yet she loves her husband. She has children from him. Now you can understand the situation. It's a very complicated situation, but look how she handled it. Now that is a strong woman, how she handled it. When the Prophet ﷺ migrated and she became a Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ said, you cannot have intimate relationship with him, but you stay with him and invite him to Islam. She did, but he didn't. He didn't want it. So she said, this is the way. So he respected that because he loved his wife so much. He respected her wish. And that is the highest degree of accommodation. She became a Muslim and he does not have access to her as his wife who loved her and everything, and they were so dear to each other. But because she requested something and she said that my faith now, you have a freedom of faith to follow your father. But now it affected his right as a husband and he still accommodated his wife. Where do you find that? And she knew that him staying a mushrik, it's going to be separation between them, but she doesn't want to let him go. Where do you find that? Amazing. Then comes the next hard step for him as a husband. When the Prophet went to Medina and he sent to take his family that he left behind in Medina, including Zainab, his daughter. So he is going. She wants to go to follow her father, and he gave her permission. Said, you go. Even this is going to be separation between us. He loves his wife so much. But it did not turn to become hatred and vengeance that you see in divorce courts now and all of that. She had the wish to go, but she still loved him. I still love you. I want to be together. I would love you to be a Muslim. And he said, I would love you to stay with me and all that, regardless you're a Muslim or not. But now he accommodated her. So goes with his family members, and she is leaving in the morning, going to Medina. The uncle of her father, that he's the head of the tribe. So he said that you do not go. Get her to leave Mecca. I will go because Quraysh is going to stand in front of you. So, okay. So he goes and he has his sword and his, bow and everything. And the Mushriki said, why? You're taking her out in front of us like this. This is humiliation, blah, 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 blah. It's a value system, I'm telling you. We know that she's leaving, but she cannot leave in the morning like this. He said, Wallahi, if anybody of you come close to me, I'll put an arrow in his chest. So people there told him that we don't want arrows, we don't want anything, we just talk to you. Our culture and all of that, you taking Zainab like this in front of everybody, and she leaves, and knowing that she's going to our enemy after battle, but and all that. So it's not going to happen. After we have all these issues between them, let her leave at night. So she leaves at night when she goes to Medina. Now the separation happened between husband and wife. Husband is going to a Sham, then goes to the Battle of Badr against the Prophet ﷺ. Then we saw the story that she gave her necklace to free him, and he's freed. And he goes to Medina as a mushrik, does not come as a Muslim. Later he goes on a trade for Quraysh, leading a caravan. He goes to a caravan, and the Muslims, they took over the caravan when it's coming back. So now he lost all the money of Quraysh and everything, but he ran away from them. They could not capture him like they captured him in Badr. So he comes at night. he comes at night and he goes to Zainab's house. He enters Medina at night and goes to his wife. At that time, there was no separation. And he's staying her husband and she's staying his wife as long as they don't touch each other. So he respected that and he appreciated that. And he entered, knocked at the door. She opened, she found her husband, the love of her life. He's mushrik. What happened? This was what happened. Then she said, okay, you are my protection. That's a very powerful woman. You are my protection. And then Rasulullah in the masjid for Fajr and the Sahaba there. And she raised her voice and said, I give protection to Al-As, my husband. And the Nabi heard it and he said, you heard what I heard? He said, yes. He said, you know, now Muslims, anyone can give protection. All the Muslims have to honor it. And we give him protection, so he's safe. So he comes out. Now he wants the money to go back. This is Amana. Oh, Muhammad, this is Amana. His father-in-law, right? He's talking to him, this is Amana. He said, no, this is, you know, the order of Allah. If the Muslims go and you persecuted us, we came out from Mecca and all of that, so this belongs to us because you took all the money of the people and all that. So here is the word of Allah and here is as a father-in-law. So he said, I cannot bypass the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. But he told his Sahaba, now you know what I'm going through. Now you know what Al-As is. He's my son-in-law. If you wish to keep the money, it is the right Allah give you. Divide it among yourself. Don't worry about him. If you want to be nice to him and give him the money to return back the things to Mecca, you can do that too. So you know what they told him? Oh, Al-As, become Muslim and take everything. The Sahaba, they tell him, oh, Al-As, become a Muslim. You take everything, all this money, leave this mushrikeen, you take it. And you can keep your wife. He said, La, wallahi, I cannot start my Islam. If I want to become a Muslim, now Allah put Islam in his heart now. I cannot become a Muslim and start by betraying the amana of the people. That is a value system. Now you understand what I'm talking about? A person can change from kufr to Islam, but he cannot change being honest and trustworthy. This will become even better. So he says, I'm a trustworthy in shirk, and then I become betraying in Muslim? No way. Even if they are going to be my enemies. I have to be nice to them, then I become a Muslim clean. What? That's what I say wow about. And then they said, okay, you could take the stuff. So they give him the stuff. And the Prophet told Zainab, he cannot touch you. She said, of course, Dad, I know. And she gave him farewell and she wished him good. And he saw in her eyes that she wants him. She wants him to become a Muslim. And he wants her, but he cannot access. And he did not force her. He did not violate the trust of the Prophet. He did not. Very honest man. Look at this beautiful thing, like everybody saying Islam by the sword, 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 sword. What were you talking about? What were you talking about? I can give you tons of examples like this. And then he goes to Mecca. He rests. In the morning, he calls everybody. This is your right. This is your right. You got your merchandise. They're happy. What happened? This and that. He said, don't worry about what happened. Here's your money and all of these things. Then he said, oh, people of Quraysh, do I owe anything to anybody? No. Am I committed to anybody from before for anything? No. Did you have all your stuff? No. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So he said, now, La ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I bear witness by Allah. It's nothing prevented me from Islam except out of fear that you think I became Muslim to take over your money. Allah is the one who brought me here to give you the money. and I became a Muslim now. So Zainab became a Muslim, she left. Now he became a Muslim and joined her in Medina, and there was no separation between them. Come on, this hukm later on changed, that Allah Azza wa Jal, yani saying a man cannot keep a woman mushrika in his in this marriage. If she stayed in the shirk and he give her like the shirk, not being Christian or Jew, like shirk polytheist. You cannot marry a polytheist. And if there was a polytheist married before Islam, then there have to be separation. Man and woman, yani. But Zainab, radiallahu anha, she died on the 8th year of Hijrah, the year of Fatih Makkah. Rasulullah was very sad and grieved a lot on her. And she left the best of examples for what a woman would do for the love of her life, her husband, and how patient she was until he came as a Muslim, subhanAllah. This is like a story I wanted to mention. And we know these details, but I hope I succeeded to relate it to our life today. We can fight, can talk, can dispute, but don't ignore, don't neglect the dangerous future that our children will be in based on our fights now. We can compromise. We can do things that not necessarily the things that we love to do, but that's for the sake of protecting a good future for our children. So we hold to our values. I tell people, coming to the masjid is not like just a choice that you do and a luxury. Like you just choose to go to the masjid because I want to go to the masjid. No, I want you to feel the importance of coming to the masjid, importance of jama'ah, importance of the community, that you come every day to recharge your batteries, that you feel safe. This is my family, this is my people, this 50, 60 people are like there for me and I'm there for them. I feel that I belong to them. When there is an activity or something like that, you are instilling in the next generation certain positive meanings. Don't think only that, it's for the fun of the youth or the children or the sisters to prove that they have like some autonomy over things. This is very narrow vision thinking. You're not achieving anything. You will not achieve more than what Allah wants you to achieve. So you are running a race that will just exhaust you. You're not going to achieve anything after that. Okay, you won the race, you got a medal, then what? I don't know if any of you were in the Muslim mental health conference that was done last Saturday. I went there and I actually was very disappointed. I was very disappointed. This is supposed to be a mental health conference, and mashallah, sisters were taking a big lead in it, and most of the counselors and all of that were women, and this is great, by the way. And I attended a couple of lectures, but I saw how dumbed down it is. Like, it's talking about the basics of stuff. Now we are saying that this is for the leaders only, by invitation only. And all leaders were there listening and giving you an ear, and you're just giving them like a basic PowerPoint that you can find it online. And you're telling me like things that, high school students, they already know. So that was the first thing. So they focused more on the show, how it looks. Everybody was wearing suits and things like that. And, taking pictures with the speakers and taking pictures with the Congress people and taking pictures with whoever celebrity was there. They forgot about the main thing. And then I was sitting there and watching like people wasting a good hour and a half on the stage taking pictures with celebrities. It's like, what is that? And it's supposed to be like from 9 to 5. It starts like 10:30, something like that, and then it finishes at like 4 o'clock. There's not much to say. Where's the workshop? Where's the meetings? Where's the people? And talking about the importance of therapy, and we know that. We're leaders, for God's sake. Like, what are you going to teach us here? Teach me something that I don't know. Teach me how to handle people. Like, what are the signs I should look for when a couple comes to me, like to say that you need a therapist? That's what I need to know. I don't have that kind of information. I may have it as a person. I'm talking about as an imam. I may not have that kind of information to diagnose people. I cannot diagnose people. But tell me, what are the signs I should look for? 1, 2, 3. And if, then what? What is the cause and effect? What is the statistics? Teach me those things and give me a certificate at the end that I passed that course. So when I introduce myself to the community, they trust me. When I tell them to go to a psychiatrist, they trust me. When I tell them to go to the counselor, trust me. And then when you, as a counselor and the therapist, like, well, where do I fit in your profession or in your career, or in your practical life? Like where do I fit? Like, I want to know. Are you gonna include me in your treatment to these people? Like, tell them that you need to talk to a sheikh. We need to make a schedule or a plan for that patient so he can be spiritually empowered as well as psychologically and socially. What is that? That's what I need to know in a conference that is intended for leaders. And I'm going to write an inshallah paper to give to IGH about that. My feedback. This is what I'm talking about. We become busy with like, okay, we want a conference for mental health, for Muslim mental health for leaders. Well, great. And the mayor come and talk about it, and the congressman will talk about it, blah, 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 all that. And then people are rushing to the stage to take the pictures of the mayor and the congressman and whatever. So, but what did we achieve at the end? The food was good. Well, I can tell you that. I can tell you that the thing that I don't regret I went for, that was the food. Food was great, amazing food. That I can remember. Food, dessert, tea. It's like, one of those fancy weddings that people do for $50,000 and $70,000 and $100,000 in the Hilton and all that. That kind of food was there. Okay? And the Starbucks coffee, all you can drink, and the chai and the tea and the doodh petit and all of that, mashallah, amazing. But the content of the conference, that was not satisfactory at all. So is this what we want? Show? Is this what you want, sisters? Like to come out and appear like you are someone fighting for the rights of the women? Is that what you want? Like you just want that role? Or you want an achievement? You want an achievement? Start from your home. Raise someone who's that powerful. Do not have separation between your daughters and your son. Empower this one to be a man and a husband and a father and a brother and a leader. And empower this one to be a leader also, but as a wife, as a sister, as a daughter, as a grandmother, like someone who is going to be the half of the other one. And that leader, you are half of the other one. So empower them like that. And then you will guarantee a society that is balanced, that's fearful of Allah Azza wa Jal, that they read their history, that they cannot redefine their values. Value system is set in stone. But then we have to see how we apply it in an ever-changing society like this. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to understand, because this is what we need, to understand and love each other for Allah's sake and accommodate each other for Allah's sake, and we never compromise anything that we have. And we live by what we believe in. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you so much for listening, and may Allah benefit us with what we said and teach us what benefits us, inshallah. Let me see if there is any question.